Welcome to the Onebar and Lupagus Show, your daily source for everything Minnesota Vikings.
All right, welcome back to Onebar and Lupagus Show. I'm Onebar. Yes, we are at it again. Vikings potentially looking to trade for a wide receiver. Reports, pretty significant reports. Ian the Rapports, I think even Schefter was tweeting out like the Vikings are doing some due diligence, sniffing around. We're going to be talking about four trade options. Now, I'm not going down the free agency route. We know there's some free agents out there, the Amari Coopers, the Brandon Powells, the Gabe Davises. I'm going strictly trade. So let me know down in the comments if there's a player you want them to trade for. And also, I'm keeping it fairly realistic. I know everybody on Twitter is like, hey, let's go get Tyreek Hill. Let's go get Chris Olave. They're putting out some pretty big boy names. And you know what? Maybe they will. But I think, and I'm going to talk about four guys, but I think they just kind of do what they do. They kind of like there's a draft bust on here. There's a familiar face on here. Just safe. I don't think they give up the house to go get a receiver because Addison will be back after week 3. Jalen Naylor with his injury. I mean, granted, they're being very secretive about that, how serious that is. So that could play into it. But I think they keep it pretty safe and just wait out those first 3 weeks and pound the hell out of the ball and go with guys like say a Ty Felton in the mix. We'll see, but let's get into it. Let's get into these trade options. And these options are more so names that people are actually throwing out there. I didn't just pull these guys out of my butt. These are very common names, and there are other teams like the Jets that are looking to trade for a receiver, and the same names seem to be popping up. And this is Alec Pierce, wide receiver, former second rounder out of Cincinnati for the Colts. Pierce, big boy receiver, big size, 6'3", 208, final year of his contract. Like I said, big frame, causes mismatches, just kind of buried on that Colts depth chart. And I think they would be more than happy to move on from him. Like I said, he is in his final year of his contract. Mid-round pick comes in with that big old body. Even after an Addison comes back, a guy like Pierce is somebody that is going to push to get playing time at that wide receiver 3 spot. He seems to be a guy that wide receiver 3 is like his bread and butter. Whatever team he goes to, he should be like wide receiver 3. So Alec Pierce, I would be all for it. I'd be all for it. Next up, we got Javon Baker. So Javon Baker just came out of the draft last year by the Patriots. 4th round pick out of UCF. Has done absolutely nothing for the Patriots. I was digging into him, like, why isn't he getting on the field? Their offense was horrible last year. We all know that, so he didn't get much of a sniff there. Even this preseason, he doesn't do anything. Vikings played against the Patriots last week. He didn't do anything. So this is more looked at as, you know what, he's going to be damn. He might even get cut. So this could be just like a conditional pick. It could be just swapping some pick, something like that. So if this does cost anything, it's going to be very, very, very cheap, and you're taking a swing on a guy who was just out of the draft last year, who showed a lot of potential coming out of the draft. Again, he's 6'1", 203. His big thing was just his natural ability, his instincts, and a guy that needs to put it all together. And where better place to put it together than the Minnesota Vikings? Kwesi loves these types of trades. He loves these types of players. And I believe the Vikings were showing mild interest in Javon Baker. I wanted this guy damn bad, and I look like a moron because he has done absolutely nothing. So Baker would be the guy. It's like, you bring him in and see what happens. He's not a saver by any means. Pierce is more of a plug-and-play type of guy. Next up, we got Jawan Jennings of the Niners. Again, a big receiver. He is 6'3", 212, 28 years old, final year's contract. Once again, a guy that is pretty much said that he wants to get out, wants a new contract or get traded. Same thing. He's not fast, tough, reliable, everything you want. For a guy like J.J. McCarthy to throw Jennings' way and know it's going to come down. A third down monster out there. That's his bread and butter. Last year, I believe he had like 78, 77, something like that receptions. Had the best year of his career. And Jennings comes in and is just a big-ass target. And last one, but not least, and of course I got to put him on the list, it's Thielen. And Jennings, I should say, I think his cap hit was like $4 million-ish, give or take. Adam Thielen, it makes sense. I just don't think it's going to happen. Even when the Vikings beat writers, it's like they seem like they know something. Where it's like when Thielen retires, great, bring him back. Maybe he's in the Ring of Honor, whatever. But it just seems like there's not much interest to bring him back. But he'll be a name that continues to pop up. He's got that $6.5 million base salary that they'd have to pay. Do they want to pay that for a guy that maybe is only used for the first handful of weeks and then gets buried in the depth chart? He can still play. He had 1,000 yards 2 years ago. Last year he had 6 something. missed about 7 games, so he can still play. And it would be fun. There's no doubt. I just think realistically, for some reason, this is just not going to happen. I don't know if the bridge was burnt, but I don't think this one's going to happen. I think the other, really, the most realistic one out of these guys would be Pierce, I think. I think Pierce does get moved. I think he fits the Kwesi mold still, 25 years old. Maybe he gets an additional contract after this year if he shows up. So a lot of names being thrown out there. I do think the Vikings are going to do something at the wide receiver position. A lot of people do. Whether it's a trade or not, we will see. Hit that sub. Join us live tonight for Horned Up at 6:30, and we'll be here talking Vikings all damn week.